breath. Listen. Watch. There are communities and cooperation. The more you look, the more it changes your perspective. Animals and places reach out to you. Everything is part of a global and ancient system that could explain everything. Hold your breath. Dive into a better world. Sound travels further underwater, and whale songs can cross an ocean. Humpback whales have left Antarctica and are heading for French Polynesia in the middle of the Pacific. The humpbacks come 6,000 kilometers to this reef to give birth and sing. The males escort each family, hoping to mate. There's constant communication. A calf nurses sloppily 200 liters of milk a day. The milk is so rich that it doesn't dissolve in the water, but forms white droplets. The humpback bulls sing on their heads. We don't know why. The songs are complex, constantly changing as part of a rich culture. There are elements of music and language, but their meaning to each other we don't yet understand. When the calves are strong enough in November, the families return south to feed. Humpback whales connect to the ocean, but the coral reef is where their song starts. Each reef is a global city, with waves of traffic and sounds and tastes, even cultures, moving back and forth over thousands of kilometers. The city is fueled by an extraordinary alliance between sunlight and coral. Coral polyps are animals, and living inside them are plants, photosynthetic algae. The algae are powered by sunlight to build sugars, and the coral polyps gather nutrients and proteins. Working together underpins this cosmopolitan community. Each species of anemone fish has its own anemone, a symbiotic friendship that neither can live without. The stinging arms defend their personal clownfish from reef predators, like moray eels. If an anemone fish feels really threatened, it can even hide in the anemone's stomach. It's also a safe home to a porcelain crab and specialist shrimp and baby damselfish. Companionships are everywhere you look. An urchin and a crab. Pygmy seahorses hide on Gorgonian corals, evolved to match their home. Different species of fan corals have different species of seahorses. If a fan coral goes, its seahorses die too. Each species is like a cell in a body, working together and part of a vast system that can only exist because everything is connected. It's different from land, with its isolated islands and habitats. The consequences of this are only beginning to be understood. Beyond the reef, cooperation can become even more personal. Offshore of the Philippines, a shrimp goby guards a burrow in the coral rubble. A companion shrimp excavates and does the housework. Gobies have good eyesight and scan for predators. Shrimps are almost blind and will only venture to the entranceway if he or she can touch the goby with their antenna. The physical contact between lifelong friends is the heart of the relationship. How they originally find each other to set up home is a puzzle. They are never seen living alone. There are dozens of different species, and each partnership is specific. Both shrimp and goby usually have a mate, and the couples get along. They may also take in lodgers. These are dartfish. The shrimp never leaves the burrow. So what does he eat? Well, the goby's food is recycled to the shrimp. Perfect. At least one shrimp antenna is always in contact with one goby. They all react as one. Relationships are not always so balanced. Sharing the same reef is a family of convict blennies living in a burrow. The baby convict blennies mimic venomous striped catfish, and their disguise is convincing enough to discourage predators from eating them. The youngsters feed on plankton above the reef, without danger. Meanwhile, the adults stay at home and clean and maintain the burrow. They've never been seen to eat. Only the youngsters feed, on life drifting in from maybe thousands of kilometers away. How the parents survive has long puzzled scientists. Researchers studying them now believe that the seemingly perfect parents actually eat a few of their babies each night. In communities full of competing interests, hunger, and betrayal, why would a shrimp go near a dangerous moray eel? It's a cleaner shrimp. The moray holds its breath. Cleaner shrimp dedicate their lives to others, and an extraordinary trust has built up between them and the moray. Everywhere you look, animals are not eating each other, but cleaning each other. Fish travel to a particular cleaning station and often change color as a signal that they're hoping to be cleaned. They come far more often than they need just to survive. There's something about it that they like, and it keeps them coming back. Specialist cleaning stations are on every reef across the Pacific. Around Hawaii, green turtles come regularly, often from hundreds of kilometers away. Surgeonfish remove a green fuzz of algae. It slows a turtle down, so a clean shell is important. This turtle cleaning station is a very specific outcrop. Only a few meters from here, surgeonfish have other jobs and ignore the turtles. There are service centers like this all over. It's a global network. 5,000 kilometers to the east off Mexico, clarion angelfish wait for a different customer. A manta ray may have traveled thousands of kilometers between appointments. Injuries are tended to, and tiny parasites or algae removed. The angelfish gets a meal, but that can't quite explain the relationship completely. There's a much older alchemy, an ancient biochemistry that creates a physiological buzz out of doing things together. Symbiosis can be traced back as far as bacteria. Cooperation was built into life right from the start. And mantas, and angelfish, and us, we all feel it. Animals without friends could not survive long. Even a tiger shark has companions. Remoras are constant attendants to sharks and manta rays. But the sharks have other relationships. A bull shark, a hammerhead, and a nurse shark hang out together in the Bahamas, like three amigos. The hammerheads are searching beneath the sand. The head is a scanner. We may think of sharks as frightening, but The majority of fish seem relaxed. Schools of snapper hang out with the gang, though they keep a respectful distance. Not all arrangements with suckerfish are as comfortable. This dugong in the Philippines has two sets of companions, the streamlined remoras seen on sharks and mantas, and the striped golden jacks. The placid dugong grazes the seagrass meadows. The golden jacks grab small shrimps that the dugong stirs up. He seems content to have them around. The remoras, on the other hand, seem to trouble him. They don't seem to be useful cleaners. In fact, they only want to eat what the shrimp goby feeds his shrimp. Most remoras are poop eaters, just like the shrimp. The dugong hates it. The remoras will fight fiercely to be close to their food source. It must be very uncomfortable. First, he tries to rub them off, but that doesn't work. Plan B, he rolls around, creating a cloud of silt and sand. He tries to bat them away. Once he's got a dense cloud cover going, he sneaks off with his golden jacks and only one remora. He prefers that. For generations, we saw only mindless competition. Animals were violent and unsophisticated, nature red in tooth and claw. Survival was for the fittest. We felt that the ocean was heartless, friendless. We fear what we are not part of. Cold upwellings on America's west coast are rich in plankton, and tube anemones catch the current's tiny passengers on stinging tentacles. They can live like this for over 100 years. Tube anemones here are taller than most, probably because of the rainbow nudibranchs. Nudibranchs are mollusks, sea slugs. This one is Dendronotus, huge for a sea slug, and it eats the tube anemone's stinging tentacles. The anemone recoils, too late. But look closer. He only takes a tentacle or two. Many nudibranchs do not even digest the stinging cells from anemones, but incorporate them into their skin for their own defense. He takes as little as he needs to keep the supply alive. He's more farmer than predator. It's a partnership that has been finely tuned over millions of years. The colder currents take us north along California, and there are beds of giant kelp. If the tropical coral reefs are the ocean's cities, then these are the ancient forests. It's a nursery for juvenile sardines. They're individuals, yet they move like a single organism, to the frustration of the cormorants. Sea lions growing up spend hours just playing together. Solitary seven-gill sharks emerge from the freezing depths like forgotten dinosaurs. Some may live for centuries. Giant sea bass live long, slow lives here. A wolf eel marks the decades. Rockfish can live to be 200 years old. And an anemone can live on the same boulder for a century. Part of a community matured and refined over millennia. The rockfish have ritualized a boundary dispute so that neither gets hurt. Intelligent animals reach out to each other for reasons we barely understand. The instinct to be part of something draws animals together, sometimes in huge numbers. A plague of pelagic red crabs, millions of them, arrive from the open ocean. The kelp forest is a global hub for many creatures. Another tide, and millions of moon jellies arrive. Following one multitude, another. Pacific sea nettle jellyfish, 1 meter wide and 5 meters long. Jellyfish can't see or hear, yet they travel together. Many of the jellyfish have passengers. A juvenile slender crab holds on until he's big enough to survive alone. Delicate medusa fish live in a fragile, mobile home. A pod of basking sharks can accompany jellyfish. Jellyfish are a clue to food among colder currents. They're feeding on copepods. The causes of these planktonic blooms may be thousands of kilometers away, variations in temperature and nutrients that are hard for us to measure. Yet sharks and dolphins and whales can follow these global cycles. They seem to know when and where everything should be. Sea otters live in the kelp only a few kilometers from Los Angeles, our own global hub. sea otter mothers wrap themselves in the kelp so as not to drift away. The babies are rambunctious and demanding, and the mothers put up with a lot. Eventually they settle down to nurse, and the parents snooze together. It's winter, and storms from the Pacific sweep in. The surge tears at the kelp and stirs up nutrients that will feed the kelp forest all summer. In the wake of the storm, sometimes whole kelp plants are ripped off the reef. As the mothership was torn from its moorings, baby rockfish become passengers. This whole community may travel hundreds of kilometers and colonize new shores. 2-meter mola mola and other fish appear, and the drifting kelp becomes a mobile cleaning station. Schools of open ocean fish find some sanctuary. For the sardines in the open ocean, they can only rely on each other against some very frightening predators. The sailfish work together like wolves. The sardines coordinate their defense. It's a battle of cooperation. Dark bronze means I'm attacking. Silver means waiting in line to feed. Fish coordinate through electromagnetic and pressure sensors, almost like a single nervous system. The sardines are soon gone. Only scales remain, filling the water with silver. In shallow tropical water, there's courtship too. Longer-term relationships are forming or being renewed. Animals take time to choose each other. A slow courtship builds commitment and trust. Off South Australia, a meter-long giant cuttlefish is warning off rival males. Courtship over, he's guarding a female, hiding her eggs. Working together is for more than comfort or your own protection. Off the Philippines, anemone fish have their home. They're stinging an enemy protector. but they still need more space to lay their eggs. They have a problem and need to figure out how to deal with it. They could use a coconut husk, if it was with the anemone. Their solution, moving what they need for a custom remodel of their home, is not simply mindless instinct. There's a whole new science about how animals think and solve problems, and it turns out that fish are pretty remarkable. It takes good communication for all relationships to work. There is coordination somehow across the whole reef, even for the simplest animals. Barrel sponges organize their spawning, communicating chemically with each other and following tides. Blue sea stars stand on tiptoe to spawn. And sea cucumbers reach up when the moon is right. It's as though all the threads linking every animal were being pulled by the moon. Male corals release sperm. And females, egg packets. The magic only happens for one night each year. Once adrift, the packets break open and fertilized eggs start their journey. Nothing in the ocean can happen in isolation. The pull of the moon and tides is felt globally. The ocean's largest mouths will come a long way for nights like these. The mantas eat what they can, but the quantity is overwhelming. From the depths along the colder Pacific coast, opalescent squid rise toward the full moon. A male grabs a female, and his tentacles flush red. He passes a sperm package. They drift inshore, and by the time they arrive, the females are carrying pods of growing embryos. They attach them to anything solid, even decorating a decorator crab. Once their eggs have been laid, all the adults die. Their purpose as a link in the chain of generations is done. Almost everything will eat the dying parents, but not so the eggs. The egg cases carry toxins, and most animals only try them once. Inside each carefully protected home, the squid are already growing. The squid will all hatch together, and the eruption of life will trigger so much more. The majority of larvae are swept away and become part of the plankton, the biggest nursery on the planet. Uncomfortable as it is, we can't ignore our part in this story.
Trying to get up and work on when the world is still asleep, to face my inner fears. Beautiful soul. You got a beautiful soul. And you're trying to please everyone's heart, and you're always busy connecting parts in a world that hurts so bad. Beautiful soul, beautiful soul. You got a beautiful soul.
Look beyond the desolation and the mistakes. It's not too late. A fire urchin is venomous and untouchable. Not an ideal friend, but maybe there's not much else. He's a carrier crab. The urchin gets a free ride, and nothing will attack the crab now. They're companions. It's a partnership of equals. It seems an incredibly unlikely relationship. A plain crab and a venomous beauty. But partnerships like these are the heart and soul of the ocean. The eggs and larvae travel the planet. They are a microscopic chance of renewal and repair. Not all we do turns out bad. Machines that set out to destroy life now nurture it. A new home is built. Between wreck and reef, home improvements are finished for the clownfish. The coconut husk is now a nursery. The most precious relationship in the ocean is between parent and young. Look, their hearts are beating. All around us, baby fish are being protected. Urchins provide a favorite kindergarten. We are piecing together clues, like a jigsaw slowly revealing parts of the picture. Our rare help is often accidental, but the wreckage we've made of our world is most chilling by what's not there. "500 years ago, there was maybe 10 times as many fish. It's hard to imagine. It's not just the individuals lost. It's their delicate partnerships, their families, all the connections between life, severed. The natural world is built on relationships, but what we're only beginning to discover is the ancient biochemistry of cooperation. Single cells united to form animals and plants, and they needed to breed to create homes and communities. And so ancient neurotransmitters and hormones began rewarding collaboration. The instincts are strong. Being together, a part of something, just feels right. It may seem foolish to want to be part of this. Some here could easily kill us. They may be hungry, and we are edible. But you don't need to feel afraid, just respectful. Listen. They have something to say. Here's a thought. How about a bit of give and take? We can feel what it is like to be trusted, and we can help protect what we are part of. Holding your breath long enough is the hardest part, but it's worth it. Look, they are reaching out to us.